don't want somebody who speaks out about institutional racism, who considers that institutional racism still exists, who talks about racial and social justice in a way that they would see as left-leaning. I'm not political at all. I don't really care whether you're red or blue. I've worked with some great Conservative and Labour politicians. It's nothing to do with that. I'm interested in your policies and your character. But when I talk about the causes of crime and how crime should be solved, I think to this political administration it sounds as though I am super woke.
The Neil Basu who came up through the ranks, who played the game, what changed so that you started to speak about institutional racism?
I've been speaking about institutional racism since 1998.
But
nobody listened.
Right.
What changed was I became very important, to be arrogant about it. But I was. Probably had the third loudest voice in policing behind the Commissioner and the Director General of the National Crime Agency. So when you're on television a lot and horrible things are happening and people realise you've got an important job, and thanks to people like the Asian Media Group, you become quite high profile and people start listening to you. So it's not that I've particularly changed my line. Cress often says to me that you did do a U-turn. So
Cress did take you.
Yeah, I did want to believe that policing was no longer institutionally racist, because we had done, and a lot of my critics who say you've done a U-turn, they're right, I have done a U-turn. I said, I don't think we're institutionally racist. We're full of racist and misogynist and homophobes. When I say we're full, I can be defensive now because I'm not a chief constable anymore. No chief constable can say this, but it's a tiny minority. It is not like the 60s, 70s and 80s. Policing is not like that. It is massively improved. There are still these monsters in our midst that we shouldn't have let in, that we should have spotted, that we should have fired. But it's a much smaller proportion of our workforce than you believe if you read it. And I think my sort of my point is I thought we'd got so much better that we could actually drop that unhelpful title of institutional racism. So I was prepared to say, we're not anymore, but we have racist, but we'll get rid of those through professional standards. But the trouble is, and I started looking at this a lot from 2012 onwards, still saying we should put institutional racism behind us. But I did a diversity health check of the Metropolitan Police for the Deputy Commissioner of the day, Craig Mackey, as a Chief Superintendent. I run a small team to look at all of our facts and figures. What I didn't do was interview individuals. So I looked at all our facts and figures and said, we're still looking like we're totally disproportionate in the way we police, the way we use force, the way we use stop and search. We're still looking disproportionate in our recruitment, retention and promotion. So we're still not doing well, but we're doing much better than when I joined. Less than 1% of colour when I joined the Metropolitan Police, 16% today. We're still doing better, aren't we? Until you realise Black Afro-Caribbean, virtually unchanged. Asian recruitment, much improved, that's the overall figure. But it's still not good enough. But I'm still saying, well, we've done lots of great things. We're world leaders in family liaison, post Stephen Lawrence's murder, and emergency life support for police officers. We've done lots of things. We treat hate crime seriously. We have, we have hate crime units. We have community safety units. We're doing a lot of things well. We've done a lot of things well, so we must be okay. Then George Floyd happened.